Hello, my name is Sam Tracy, and I'll be going over the impact exercise has on mental health. To start off, about 46.4% of Americans deal with mental health through their lifetime. I think that's a pretty big deal because about half of the U.S. citizens deal with mental illness later on in life or have already dealt with it. And through this presentation, I'll just be going over depression and anxiety. And for depression, I'll be going over how it is dealt with and some of the symptoms that come along with the medication that you are given for it. And for anxiety, I'll be also going how it is dealt with and some of those symptoms. And then I'll be going over exercise as a more healthy alternative and how it won't give you symptoms like the medication will for mental illnesses. And with that, I'd like to go over depression and some symptoms that go along with it. According to the book Sport and Physical Activity for Mental Health, depression can cause constant sadness, and it won't be just like for a day or a few hours. It's going to be for a week, maybe even months. And that can cause a loss of motivation or interest that you have before, and whether that be hobbies or just working out or anything like that. And then it can also have change in eating patterns, whether that makes you binge eat or not eat enough to where you're not eating at all. And then it can ultimately lead to thoughts of suicide or even suicide, which isn't very good. And so a reason for depression is a loss of role, whether that be losing jobs or not playing in a sport that you used to play in high school or college. And the cause of that is a loss of identity and belonging. When you're in a sport, you have a belonging on your team. You have a role that you have to do every game. So, and sports is a valued part of someone's identity, or it can be. And so when you lose that identity, it can be a major change in your life when you don't play that sport anymore. Some medications for depressants are called antidepressants, and they can lead to weight gain, strokes, which can ultimately lead to death, and uncontrollable urges, whether that be with smokers. If you're a smoker, it's going to be harder to quit smoking with those uncontrollable urges. Then you can also lead to binge eating. And these are the pictures for depression. For anxiety, according to the article Progress in Physical Activity in Exercise and Anxiety Disorders, anxiety is characterized as overthinking or having a lot of fear, and it's so much that it can disrupt normal activities that should be just fine about going on through your day. And some forms of anxiety or panic attacks. When you have a panic attack, you really just lose control and you're not able to control yourself and breathe. Another form is obsessive compulsive disorder, which is OCD. And then it's like if something doesn't feel right in your mind, you're going to have to repeat it over and over again to where it does feel right. And then it's another form is post-traumatic stress disorder, which is PTSD, and a lot of military people have this when they come back. Some of the medication for anxiety can lead to headaches, loss of memory, and confusion. These are all problems with the head, which isn't very good because your head is your most valued part of your body. So when you're exercising, for anxiety, it's going to help distracting the mind. It's not going to actually help anxiety overall, but during the time where you're exercising, you're going to not have any panic attacks. You're just going to be focused on working out. And for people with depression, it's going to give you a sense of achievement, especially with people who have stopped playing sports. And a good example of this is when you're powerlifting and you hit a new personal best. It's going to be like, I don't know, winning a trophy or something like that. And then when you go on hikes or rock climbing, it's going to be like adventurous, and you're going to be able to tell stories to your friends. And it's going to be a big part of your life. where you can actually enjoy what you're doing, and sometimes depression can hold back from enjoying what you're doing and just make you feel sad. And these are the slides for exercise. So in conclusion, depression is overly sadness, and if you can find a way to help with that, whether that be exercising, it's going to be a lot better than what you could deal with if you took medication. That also goes along with anxiety and exercises. If you have minor forms of either depression or anxiety, exercise will be able to help to where you don't have to take medication for it. And I think you should just choose the better alternative, like exercising if you can. Because if you have to take medication, you could end up having some bad symptoms, and it could change your lifestyle that way as well. And this is my works cited.